Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7. New CAD-based renders of the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 showcase subtle design refinements compared to the predecessor Z Flip 6, with only slightly larger displays and minor dimensional changes. So while the phone is marginally wider and taller this year, its thickness remains the same at 6.9 millimeters, although the Flip 7 will get a minor aspect ratio modification. Instead of being tall and skinny, the device will now take the shape of a regular S25 Plus, which is just as tall but just a little bit wider. Now, it'll basically be an S25 Plus that just folds in half. The camera system appears to remain unchanged, retaining that same 50 megapixel main shooter and 12 megapixel ultra wide lens from the Z Flip 6. Now, despite rumors, the chipset is going to remain uncertain for the time being. However, it does look like Samsung is expected to put their own Exynos 2500 in the Flip 7 instead of the Snapdragon variant. Price is expected to stay right around the $1,000 price point. Now, a little less noticeable crease is anticipated, though it won't be entirely eliminated, representing a small, maybe a baby step towards a more refined user experience. That crease never really bothered me, but it has bothered some people, I do know. Facts remain the same. It will have a crease. So if that bothers you, you have to deal with it for one more year. Now, let's get to the battery. So the battery and charging specifications are expected to remain the same. Overall, the Flip 7 presents a small minor upgrade with subtle improvements rather than a radical design change, right? Now, it's raising questions whether Samsung is innovating quickly enough in the rapid evolving foldable phone market. That foldable phone market is heating up big time. And Samsung's playing it safe. They do have a good product, however, their sales have dropped off significantly with their foldables, and we will have to see where they go from here. I'm expecting a design change, maybe not next year, but the year after. We will have to wait and see. Now, getting to that Fold 7, we see thinner and thinner foldables every year, and I love it. So the leaked CAD renders for the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 shows a remarkably thin device, measuring only 4.5 millimeters when it's unfolded like book style, and 9.5 millimeters when folded. Renders also indicate a larger 8.2 inch display on the inside when it's open, and then a 6.5 inch display on the outside when it's closed, potentially making it the largest screen foldable in its class, along with a new aspect ratio for the internal display. It is expected to be powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite, similar to the S25 series, same CPU. Now, Samsung will upgrade the camera department to a 200 megapixel primary camera sensor, same 200 megapixel sensor that's on the S25 Ultra, while maintaining a similar battery capacity and charging speeds. These design improvements, based on unofficial renders, right, suggest Samsung is responding to consumer demand for thinner, more expansive foldable devices, potentially solidifying its leading position in the competitive foldable smartphone market. There's a lot of nice foldables out there, and that temperature is about to go up, way up, because Apple is about to put the heat on everybody. So Apple is expected to release a foldable in 2026. Now, get this. Apple is going to release this foldable with zero crease. That's correct. It's going to be 100% flat. You will not be able to find a crease on it when it is open. Apple has been working on this for roughly around 5 years. They did not want to put out a foldable until, this was the bottom line bare minimum, Apple was not going to release a foldable unless it could have a zero crease display. Reports indicate Apple is developing a foldable iPhone with a revolutionary crease-free display, potentially launching in the second half of 2026. This innovative technology, utilizing a new material, aims to address a major drawback of current foldable phones and could significantly impact the market. Samsung Display, that's correct, Samsung is going to provide the displays for this foldable iPhone, right? It will be an OLED panel. Cornering, who makes the Gorilla Glass, is expected to provide the ultra thin glass for that display as well. Now, the hinge that they have on here that creates the zero crease display, they patented this hinge so nobody else could use this technology. Just another way Apple gets a foot up on the competition. So rumor has it the foldable iPhone is anticipated to feature a 5.5-inch outside cover display and a 7.74, so basically 7.75-inch inner display that you will look at when unfolded, adopting a almost like a book-like aspect ratio. Apple's commitment to eliminating the crease is a key differentiator, potentially attracting consumers who have been hesitant about the technology due to the crease. While the crease-free display is a significant advantage, the durability, the price, and the software compatibility of Apple's foldable iPhone remains to be seen. Stay tuned for more. So the upcoming mid-range Nothing Phone 3A, my favorite phone, has made an appearance on Geekbench. Pretty interesting, and let's get into it. Now, this new Nothing Phone 3A confirmed to have the Snapdragon 7S Gen 3. So recent leaks have revealed the European pricing. We're not really going to get into that at the moment because we expect it to basically stay the same or right around in the same ballpark, possibly $350 at launch and for the 3A, and then possibly $400 at launch for the 3A Pro. But from these Geekbench listings, we now confirm the RAM capacity, although there is a minor asterisk, so to speak, that we can put on one of them. The Nothing Phone 3A, codenamed Nothing A059, was tested with only 8 gigs of RAM. Now, don't freak out just yet. A 12 gig RAM variant is also expected at launch. Now, it achieved scores. This is the Nothing Phone 3A with the 8 gig of RAM variant. Achieved scores of almost 1200 for a single core and 3300 for multi-core, respectively. Now, getting into the 3A Pro, 3A Plus, I don't know what the hell they're going to call it, one of them. Nothing Phone 3A Plus, codename Nothing A059P. Increased variant of the 12 gigabytes of RAM, scored slightly higher, just over 1200 points in the single core and over 3300 points in the multi-core. Key difference likely due to variation between test runs, right? When you run these benchmark testings, they're not always the same. They're close, but not always the same. The internals between the two models are essentially the same, right? So it should score basically the same points. Now, these were on Android 15, as I mentioned. Believe it's going to launch with Nothing OS 3.1. Now, with these scores, just for a quick reference, I was like, you know what? Those scores kind of sound familiar. I think I got a device that ran something similar. And I was like, oh yeah, it's a Pixel. So for quick reference, my Pixel 9 Pro XL scored 1385 in a single core and 4551 in multi-core. Now, that's with the Google Tensor G4 CPU. But again, just to compare and contrast, the Pixel 9 Pro XL, mine's a $1,200 phone with a storage upgrade, and the Phone 3A is going to be $350, $400. And I know the single core is almost the same. Multi-core, you get a little better with the Tensor, but for something that's for the Nothing Phone that's like a third of the price, can't beat it. So performance should be right about the same, right? If you got a Pixel, which is pretty good, very good, actually, for a $350 phone. Now, what's new with this 3A? Not much. They throw on an extra camera in the back, right? Now, the 3A looks very similar, just with an extra camera. The 3A Plus, whoa, Jesus Christ, that's hideous. I'm a big fan of Nothing and what they're doing. Quite different from any other phone manufacturer, but Jesus Christ, that thing is ugly. Anyways, the Nothing Phone 3A series will include a dedicated physical key button to access the proprietary AI housed within the quote-unquote Essential Space application. Essential Space, unlike conventional AI suites or apps, functions as an AI-powered hub, a secondary digital memory designed to capture, process, and retain fleeting moments of inspiration, reminders, and tasks often lost in the digital clutter. This encompasses screenshots, voice notes, social media saves, photography, information, frequently collected information, whatever else you can think of. The core functionality of this system, of the Essential Key, is dedicated physical button on the right-hand side of the both 3A and 3A Plus. This button is engineered for intuitive, single-handed operation. So let's get into it. You press this button once. That enables capture and send content directly to the Essential Space. A long press that button, you get to record a voice note. And a double tap of this button will access all of your saved content inside of that Essential Space area or application. Some features that Nothing is implementing into the Nothing OS 3.1 in the Phone 3A are camera capture. Within the camera app, a single press of the Essential Key sends the photo to Essential Space, where it's analyzed and stored for later retrieval. Smart Collections uses AI for sorting images, audio, and text. Next feature, Smart Collections. AI automatically recognizes and categorizes content, images, audio, text, whatever, eliminating the need for manual organization. Imagine the screenshot organizations this could help me with. Wow, my phone is a mess with the photos and the screenshots. Next up, focused search. Find exactly what you're looking for. And then last but not least, flip to record. Another way of recording notes, basically. Essential Space is a product in development, and while we will see kind of how it works as it debuts on the Phone 3A series, best to believe a full-fledged, full-featured packed version will be on the upcoming Nothing Phone 3 later this year. It'll basically be an Essential Space on steroids with the Phone 3. Now, there was not any mention of it being a remappable key, meaning like, can you change, instead of the double tap accessing all of your saved content, what if I wanted to double tap the key for recording a voice note, right? Or capturing and sending content, right? Is it customizable? We have no idea. It would be nice to see that, but or at least to give us some options, but we just don't know at the moment. But it will be released on March the 4th, I believe at 4 or 5 a.m. Central Standard Time. But anyways, it'll be released here soon. Please subscribe, stay tuned to the eSIM Studios YouTube channel. I'm going to be getting this phone regardless if they send me one or not. So I'm definitely going to be covering this. Please stay tuned, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.